Shalom Aleichem from First Yahudin Messianic Temple here in Lake Plaza, Florida. And I am his servant, Maria Simpson, and welcome once again to these teachings. And today I am going to teach really on the fear of rejection. So with that too, please let me do a prayer. Abba Kadosh, I thank you for today. I thank you, Abba Kadosh, for everything that you have given us, that you're giving us, and that you're about to bless us with, Abba Kadosh. Thank you, Abba, for you are restoring your people, your children in these last days, Abba Kadosh. Abba, I ask of you that whoever has been rejected, that you strengthen them with this message, Abba Kadosh. Let it go deep into their souls and their spirit, Abba Kadosh, and may you deliver them from the spirit of rejection, Abba Kadosh. I thank you, Abba Kadosh. May your Ruach HaKadosh, your Holy Spirit, take control of the words that are going to be spoken and ministered to all my brothers and sisters today. In the name of Yeshua the Messiah, amen. I'm going to speak on a topic that is very important. It's the topic of being rejected. Or maybe you have rejected somebody. Now, rejection has a positive and a negative. The negative part of rejection is when someone really doesn't want anything to do with you because you have become a threat. You have something that they wish they had and they don't have it. You are a bother to them. So they reject you. They begin to criticize you. They begin to belittle you. And it all depends on what you believe. Now that is, and I'm going to speak up, a little bit more on that, but that is the negative side. The positive side of rejection is really to learn, to give you a better character, to learn from that experience, to focus on yourself and not on others. Not to wear many masks and, try to please everyone. See, understand that you cannot please everyone. Yeshua did not please everyone. We cannot please everyone. So who you need to please, number one, is Elohim, and then really is yourself. That's the positive side. But let me start with this. How do we get rid of rejection? See, has any of you ever been rejected? I believe that all of us, in one time or another, we have been rejected. We have been rejected maybe in a relationship, maybe in a job, a friend. Maybe we have been rejected and maybe because our character, our way of being, bubbly. Maybe we've been rejected because we haven't belonged to sort of like maybe keeping up with the Joneses. But see, how you get rid of rejection is really to regain your confidence. Confidence is powerful. Confidence is like a is like a lion that's roaring, a lion. He's king of the jungle. Confidence is like an eagle when he soars. He doesn't fly. Eagles don't fly. Eagles soar. So confidence is how you feel about yourself. It's your strength. That's how you get rid of rejection. Now, what is exactly the fear of rejection? The fear of rejection is an irrational fear that has you convicted that people won't accept you for one or more reasons. Fear of rejection is likely to impact your career prospects, your relationships, as well as your everyday social interaction. See, so rejection and the fear of rejection can really affect a lot of things in your life. Now, a rejection is nothing more than a necessary step to pursue your success. How can I say this? I'm in this situation right now, and you know, I'm being rejected by my spouse, my lover, my boyfriend, my girlfriend, my friends, my family, even school, or maybe even a job. Well, just because somebody has rejected you, it doesn't mean that that's the end of your life. You need to learn from that. See, take rejection as someone blowing a horn in your ear to wake you up and get going rather than retreat. See, we need to understand the value of rejection. This is the positive side that I was telling you about. You are unique. You are a very unique individual with unique tastes, preferences, and perspectives. What might appeal to you may not be necessarily appeal to others. This is a good thing because it makes life interesting and it's diverse, which means it's different. Because you're different. You know, you're different. We all different. There are, in fact, reasons why we fear rejection. Let's look at some of them in a little detail. And then I'll take you into the scriptures. One of the fears of rejection, number one, is lacking self-esteem. The primary reason is often a lack of self-esteem. You fear rejection because you have low value and opinion of yourself. How much are you worth? How much do you value yourself? How much do you really care when somebody honestly and truly rejects you? See, they're really not rejecting you. What they're rejecting is your gifts. They're rejecting your smile. They're rejecting your genuine. They're rejecting how you love life. They're rejecting maybe that you're an excellent mother. Maybe you love people. What they are they're not rejecting you. They are rejecting the gifts that are inside of you. And most people that reject others is because those people are even worse, because their way of being, their low self-esteem, they really don't care much about themselves, so they don't care about others. And what they do is they try to condemn others. People, they begin to reject. They're rejecting your smile. They're rejecting how you interact with other people. They reject even when you just maybe wear a dress or wear maybe, if you're a man, maybe a shirt, maybe you have a car. What they're rejecting is not you, is your gifts. They wish they were like you, but they can't because there's nobody like anybody else. There's nobody like you. You are unique. You are original. You're just like a diamond. A diamond. Each diamond is cut different. So really, you are a diamond. Nobody has the same cuts. Nobody has the same fingerprints. Nobody has your abilities. Nobody does. Nobody. Because this is something that has been given to you on the day before you were born by Elohim. He gave you power and strength and gift when you were in the womb of your mother. Before I knew, look at what it says. Before I knew you, I formed you in the belly. Form you means that he took you and he formed you with his hands. And certain gifts he gave you. This is why there's so much rejection maybe in some of you. And if you are a person that has rejected others, don't do what others are doing to you. Because what you sow, you will reap. Are you all listening to me? I guess so. We got a thumbs up. Now, let's take it in the Bible. When we reject the word of Yahweh, Yahweh will reject us. Okay? It says in the book of Hosea, chapter 4, verse 6, my people are destroyed for lack of knowledge, because thou hast rejected knowledge, which means the word of the Torah. I will also reject you. Wow, that's a very strong word. That thou shall be no more priest unto me, seeing that thou hast forgotten my law, the law of Elohim. I will also forget your children. Now, what is the word reject? The word reject, or the word rejected, means to refuse, to agree. It means to throw away. It means you're worthless. See, we cannot do what we cannot reject anybody, because along the way, somebody's going to reject us. Because what we sow, we are going to reap. It's called the law of sowing and reaping. Yahweh says, as long as the earth and the heavens are there, seed times, sowing and reaping is always going to be there. Summer and winter and fall and day and night, it's going to always be there. So see, we need to change our way of being. We need to change our patterns. We need to be, number one, believe more we need to believe more in ourselves. We need to have confidence. Not going around parading like, okay, I'm going to do this so they can love me. I'm going to do this and I'm going to do that and I'm going to dress because it's not going to work. You will not please everyone. And sometimes the person that you want to please is really rejecting you, because really they don't care. You are a pebble in their shoe. Which means is you are a nuisance in their lives. Now, we need to understand often lacking self-esteem, it really is the root that comes back when we were children. It's the experience we had when we were children. Certain events might have taken place that made you doubt your own personal sense of worth. It could even have been one significant traumatic experience of rejection that changed everything in your life. It's not the problem somebody rejecting you. The problem is you believing in what they're saying and rejecting. It's all in the mind. We need to understand there is a value in rejection. How can I say this? Whether you are rejected in a personal, social situation or business, professional situation, you must accept that getting rejected is an unavoidable and necessarily part of life. We are always at one time or another going to be rejected. This is a good thing because rejection is necessary for reinventing yourself. And it means restructuring, rebuilding, really getting more character, more confidence. And you're going to do this because you are going to learn new things and for personal growth. Stop being a victim because somebody has rejected you. Well, I'm not going to allow them to reject me. Number one, you have to stop being the victim. Because if you don't stop being the victim, then nothing's going to happen. You are the owner of your life. You create what you want. You have a choice in your life. Either you continue in that relationship, either you continue, you believe it, or you don't. Confidence, your attitude, your confidence, your attitude creates how you going to behave, your attitude. Confidence is very, very, very strong thing. Do you remember the Wizard of Oz? I believe one of them was a lion and he had no courage. When you have low self-esteem, you have no courage. What did he want? The lion wanted I want a heart so I can roar hard, so I can have courage. Courage. What did the lion do every time he will hear like a sound? He ran away or he hid behind Dorothy. Courage, confidence. These are very strong words. And what happened to the lion at the end? He got that courage. He got that confidence. Rawr, rawr. Don't be a little cat. Meow, meow. No. It's your life. Nobody is going to take care of your life like you will. And nobody has to, because you don't take care of, besides your children, you're looking out for yourself. This is a good thing because rejection is necessary for reinventing yourself, for learning new things, and for personal growth. In fact, getting rejected can be a blessing in disguise and extremely advantageous if handled appropriately. One of the things that we have done in one point in our lives or others, we have rejected the commandments of Yahweh. We have rejected Him. He is the commandments. He is the Word. He is. So if you go with me to the book of Mark, chapter 7, verse number 9. Mark, chapter 7, verse number 9. Now this is Yeshua speaking. And it says here on Mark chapter 7, verse 9, and he said unto them, full well you rejected the commandments of Elohim, that you may keep your own traditions. So see, how does rejection feels to you if you have gone through this, which I believe all of us in one time or another have felt rejected? How does it feel? It feels nasty. It feels unwanted. It feels that that unloved. It feels that we don't feel love. It feels that we're not appreciated. It feels that people, whoever it is, they don't understand us. Correct? Is that right? It feels like you feel alone. It feels that the message that I'm trying to convey, they don't understand. Well, since we have rejected the commandments of Yahweh, Yahweh says, you have sown this to me, I will also reject you. And how does Yahweh reject us? The same thing when we're going through some kind of process of rejection from other people. See, he says Yahweh cannot be mocked. Whatsoever a man soweth, that also he shall reap. Now, if you turn this around and you begin to really understand him more and really why is he trying to tell you, just like what you're trying to tell that person or those people or your job or that relationship, and they don't understand you. So turn around, turn around and get be more confident and do things a little different and still if they reject you, then you know what? You have to say goodbye to all my family, M-I-C-K-E-Y and all that stuff. You have to say goodbye. This is the same thing that Yahweh has done with us. But when we repent, really when we repent and ask Him to forgive us and go back and come back to Him, He forgives us. But see, A lot of people cannot forgive us because they don't have Elohim with them. They don't know what it is to forgive. They don't know. Those type of people need a lot of prayer. Fear of rejection is lacking self-confidence. The lack of confidence often stems from having a sense of accomplishment. And so as a result, you look to others for cues on what you should or shouldn't do in specific situation. In other words, you become codependent. When you have been rejected a lot, you become codependent on that relationship. You want their approval so much, and you cannot do anything. Should I do this? Should I not do this? What do you think? What do you think? I mean, come on. You're not 5 years old. You're an adult. Act like an adult. You have gifts. You have abilities. You're an original. You're unique. And if somebody rejects you and somebody doesn't understand you, it's because maybe, even though they've been with you for a while or maybe a long time, it's because they never knew you. They see the outside, but they don't see the inside. Understanding the value of rejection, you must not view rejection as a bad thing, but rather see it as a positive light, because the truth is that rejection is critical for long-term success. How can I say this? In fact, people who are most successful get rejected the most often and only succeed because they are willing to risk failure repeatedly. Do you know how many times when I went to open my first salon, I was 22 years old. I was working I was working as a shampoo person. Did you know that when I told the owner, and this was a, high class place, and I told him that I was going to open my salon, I was 22 years old. Did you know that he made a mockery of me in front of all the clients and all the hairdressers? He started going like parading, oh, look at what Maria's going to do. What is she, and he was mocking me. Do you know how bad I felt? I wanted to cry so bad because I didn't know how I was going to walk through all those people. And I was only 22 years old. As he was speaking, my faith in God has always been really huge. I started saying, you know what? I got my 2 hands. I got my 2 legs. I have a brain. I do have my eyes. So in other words, I'm healthy. And excuse me for saying this, but I say, who is this idiot telling me that what I cannot do? But see, what I started doing there, I was doing what was called confidence. Confidence. I did not go under like low self-esteem, and I did not become a victim. Not only did I have the salon, I had after that 3 salons. And let me tell you, not only that, I started doing motivational seminars, and I started doing classes for hair coloring classes for professional hairdressers. Now, what would you think if would have happened if I listened to that person? Because he was making fun of me. Do you know why he was making fun of me? Because he did not want me to go, even though I was just a shampoo girl. Because he knew that I love people. I love people. I laugh with people. People, they're very open with me. And he knew that people went there also because they liked the way I was. So I was really bringing him business, even though I was just a shampoo girl. See, every time you're going to excel in business, or you're going to excel in life, or there's going to be a change. There's going to be a shift in your life. You are always going to get people that are going to criticize you. But see, understand that it's not their vision. It is your vision. It is your goal. It is your success. It is your target. It is yours. It is only yours. You don't need some idiot telling you that you cannot make it, or you're not going to make it, and this and that. And you don't need somebody to reject your opinions. And if this is somebody in your life, then you need to really think about it. If you continue to want to be with this person. And you know what? You will come in a place that says, you know what? I got to go. You got to go. Because these kind of people that do not change in our lives, what happens, they are an obstacle. Rejection essentially improves your chances of success because it provides you with a feedback you need to adjust your strategy moving forward. Fear of rejection is lacking social skills, which could root from long periods of isolation. In other words, you spend a lot of time by yourself. You don't want to be around a lot of people. And maybe you experienced this as you were a younger child. If you don't have the necessary social skills to make your way in the world, then you are likely to depend more on other people to give you the necessary cues that will help you figure things out. Understanding the value of rejection. The better understanding you have about other people's wants and needs, the better decisions you are likely to make that will help you to better meet these people's needs in the future. And this will lead to more approval and less rejection in the long run. Now, do you remember Samuel? Samuel was a prophet. He was a prophet in the time of Saul, King Saul. King Saul was the first king of the 12 tribes of Judah, okay, of the 12 tribes. He was the first king of Israel, okay? So what happened? Saul decided, because he was a nice-looking man, kind of tall, everything went to his head. Now he's a king, and people are loving, and oh, hail King Saul, and oh, yeah, we love you, and all this. So it went to his head. So what he did was, he decided not to do the commandments of Yahweh. And look at what happens in 1 Samuel chapter 10, verse 19. Now this is Samuel speaking to Saul. Look at what it says on verse number 19. And you have this day rejected your Elohim, who himself saved you out of your adversities and your tribulation, and you said to him, no, but set a king over us. Now therefore present yourselves before Yahweh by your tribes, by your thousand. In other words, King Saul became a king because Israel wanted a king. But he decided, see, when God doesn't give you and doesn't anoint you for certain things, it's not going to last. Even though his kingdom was for 40 years. What happened with King Saul, that Yahweh took the Ruach HaKodesh, the Holy Spirit, away from him, and then he sent spirits of torment against him. And how he really had shalom is when he summons David so he can play the harp, and David started singing the Psalms, and that's how these spirits started leaving. So see, when you reject the Most High, when we reject His commandments, when we reject who Yeshua is, when we reject Him, what are we sowing? We're sowing rejection. Someone along the way, somebody's going to come and reject us. It doesn't mean, okay, even just because we're human, we are going to get rejected. That's part of life. But it all depends on how you see it. On 1 Samuel chapter 15, verse 23. 15, verse 23. For rebellion, now this is Samuel speaking to Saul. For rebellion is as sin as witchcraft. And stubbornness is iniquity and idolatry. Because thou hast rejected the word of Yahweh, He's also rejected thee from being king. Wow. Understanding the value of rejection. Rejection can also be valuable. It's sort of like a wake-up call that alerts you to certain specific changes that you must make to your behavior in order to get things back on track. It essentially serves as constructive feedback and criticism that you must value and use to your own advantage. The fear of rejections are symptoms to look out for. Sometimes the fear of rejection is something that can creep up on you subtly and when often hides behind a veil of the numerous excuses you tend to make on every daily basis about your life and circumstances. It is time to uncover the veil and open yourself up to the fact that this fear is real and that it has significant strange hold, not stronghold, strange hold over your life. Now, what is the real reason why people reject other people? Or what is the real reason why people reject you? Number one, because they fear to make a commitment or a specific decision that they feel hurt, that it will hurt them and make them feel uncomfortable in some way. Two, because they lack understanding of what you're offering them. You haven't provided them with enough reasons or information for them to be able to accept you or your offer. Three, because they simply don't like you. Period. They don't like you. And they don't have to like you. They don't have to like me. They don't like you. And that's perfectly okay. Not everyone will like you. Not everyone you're going to like. And you certainly won't click socially with everyone else. So in other words, you're not going to like everybody either. Four, yes. Because they have different perspective, opinions, needs, beliefs, values, and objectives. They are as unique as you are. And these things don't always align. In other words, just because you live with somebody doesn't mean they're going to come in agreement with you. Just because you're living with somebody, just because maybe your children, maybe a job, maybe it doesn't mean that they're going to come in agreement with you. 5, because they are jealous of you. And this is so true. Because they are jealous of you or of what you are doing. And they will therefore reject you to ensure that you don't get your desires outcome. How sad is that? When someone has that kind of jealousy over another person, they will reject you. And it's not that you're saying nothing wrong. It's not that you're behaving bad. It's just you're being you. And they cannot stand it, so they become jealous of you. And see, jealousy, according to the book of Proverbs, is very, very dangerous. Because there's people that have been jealous of other people and come to the point that, I'm not saying in all instances, that they have even sent somebody to kill them. How sad is that? Didn't they do it to Yeshua? See, did you know that Yeshua can relate to when somebody rejects us? Did you know this? Did you know that he knows? And see, not only can he relate to rejection on somebody when somebody rejects us, but also Yeshua can relate also he can relate when people has despised us. You know what the word despise means? It means that somebody really, they think that you're sick, that you're like a worm. You have become like a pig, and you have become like a dog, and you have become the worst of the worst of the worst of the worst. So see, Yeshua understands this because if we go to the book of Isaiah, chapter number 53, please go with me to Isaiah chapter 53, verse number 3. He is despised and rejected of men. See, he's not just rejected of Jews. That's the wrong concept of Christianity. Because every time we look at Yeshua, that because the cross, and constantly pointing to the cross, we're constantly crucifying him. And when Yeshua was crucified, who were also there? It was Romans. So we really all have crucified him when we have rejected his commandments, when we have rejected his word. He is despised and rejected of man, a man of sorrows and acquainted with grief, and we hid as he were our faces from him. He was despised, and we glorify him not. Did you know that even they pulled his beard? They spit at him. Can you imagine if somebody had a cold, a disgusting, maybe had, I don't know, mucus, and maybe, I don't know, maybe they had tuberculosis, and they spit on his face? They spit, like saying that you're nothing? But see, understand this, that Yeshua knew where he was going. He knew that when he resurrected, he was going to be sitting next to the Father. He knew his position. He, with confidence, he even said before he died on that tree when he was crucified, he says, forgive them, Father, for they don't really know what they're doing. This is what you need to say to those people that reject you. Or that person that rejects you. Forgive them, Father, for they really do not know what they're doing. Why did Yeshua say this? Because he knew that if he didn't say this, that Yahweh would have his father would have gotten up and he would destroy everything. Just like the time of Moses, that he was coming to destroy all Israel. And then what happened? Moses got on his knees and he got on the floor. He put his face on the ground. He says, no, please, how can you do this? After you bring us all out of Israel, out of Egypt? What are the people going to say? And what did he listen? He listened. Why? Because there was a communication, Moses with Yahweh and Yeshua and his father. This is very important. Ideas to help you cope with the rejection. What are these ideas? Let me give you some ideas. Being rejected is never easy. However, you can certainly improve your rejection coping strategies over time. Here are some suggestions. Let me give you some suggestions to overcome or cope with rejection. You need to accept rejection, not that to believe it. Number one, you accept it because number one, that's not who you are. And number two, where is this rejection coming from? Haven't you noticed those people that rejected, their life is all messed up? They're not happy, they're miserable. They're not happy, joy kind of deal. They're not Boy Scouts, they're not Girl Scouts. They're really not happy. So really, who is rejecting you? How can you allow somebody that's not happy? How can you allow somebody that really only thinks of talking negative and maybe gossiping to really reject you? Are you for real? No, honey, let me tell you, they should be flattered and honored that you are in their life. And if they cannot see this, then you know what? Shame on them. So one of them, accept rejection, not for you to go boo-hoo and be a victim, but really to learn from that. And who is it coming from? Two, you need to maintain a cool head. Maintain a cool head. You know why? Because in your head is your brain, is your mind. You need to stay focused on really what is it that you're gaining. What is your goal? Because see, you're still growing. You're alive. You love life. You have to stay focused on your goal, on your dream, on your target. You need to stay cool. You don't need to be a hard-headed. Oh well, he rejected me. And you know how many people have rejected me? You know how many people have laughed at me? You know how many people have, they even said, why do you believe the way you believe? And I said, because I have a relationship with the Most High. I know who I serve. Do you? Well, how do you know God exists? And I tell them, and how do you know he doesn't? See, Yeshua, the Pharisee, said that he used to do delivering and healing by Beelzebul. You know who Beelzebul is? The prince of demons. Has anybody ever said this to you? Well, you believe in God because, that's witchcraft and that's wrong. And you smile and you're getting a promotion and you're doing this and rejecting and criticizing. You know why? Because there's no understanding. People that reject other people, including when we have rejected others, at times, we are ignorant, and we actually behave exactly like them. Number 4, you need to gain alternative perspective. You need to change your thinking mode. You need to really focus on confidence, on courage. You need to think on good things. You need to, did you create your day that day? Not thinking, oh, look at what he said, or look at what she said, or they rejected me. Honey, you're not a reject. You're not in some kind of assembly line that you're going through and they're okay, this piece works and this one does. Goodbye. That's not who you are. You're unique. You are the pupil of his eyes. You are special. You are unique. There's nobody like you. How can somebody reject you? You need to love yourself. Number 5, you need to try again. No matter what you decide to do, it's important that you immediately see things in a positive light. It's only through this kind of perspective that you will build the confidence you need to keep on moving forward. Because I'm going to assure you, you cannot move backwards. Because you and I can never be 5 years old again. I don't know how old you are, but I cannot be 20 years old again. And I don't want to be 20 years old again. I love my life. I love my age. 58 years old. I literally love my age. Even though I'm getting a couple of wrinkles here and there. Okay, hey, everything's going south. But that's okay. That's life. I love my life now. And you know what? Yes, I have fallen. And I pick myself up. See, 7 times I fall and 7 times I pick myself up. You know why? Because I'm not dead. And neither are you. Try again. So what if you get rejected for the 11th time? So what? Who cares? All it means is that you haven't yet figured out a strategy that will work in this particular situation or game. What am I talking about? Adjust your approach and make another attempt. Life is nothing more than a numbers game. Let me say, life is only a numbers game. And the intelligent live off the fools. Engage in positive self-talk. It's critical that you keep your spirits high after a rejection. The best way to do this is to engage in positive self-talk. I personally do coaching. I do coaching. I do coaching for small business. I do coaching for marriages, for relationship. I do coaching for people that have gone through a lot. One-on-one. I do it on the phone. I do it person to person. I do coaching. And if you're interested, you can write to me at wisdom5968@aol.com. Don't take things personally. When it comes to rejection, it's important that you never take things personally, that you never make assumptions about the situation or the other person, and that you never indulge in victim mentality. Don't be a victim or the mentality of a victim when somebody rejects you. Don't become a victim of that. Sing and laugh and dress up and you know what? Even if it's snowing, even if it's raining, even if Hurricane Irma goes out through, let me tell you, you need to see the sunshine. You need to see yourself that you're already in your goal. How to learn from rejection. Every rejection you face is nothing more than learning experience that you must use to help better choices and decisions in your future. Ask yourself these questions. What if I get rejected? Ask yourself. In other words, ask yourself this question. What if I get rejected? You know what you're going to do? Take a jar of Vaseline and put it all over your body. I mean, literally cover yourself in Vaseline and let it slide. Let it slide. What if I get rejected in a specific way? And then you have to provide an example. What happens if I get rejected because, oh, you're so ugly, you wear your mama's comeback boots. Really? Oh, wow. If that person takes the time to reject me and tell me all those things, that means that I have something that they like and they don't have it. And somebody has to have it. And you do. You have it. You're beautiful. You're handsome. You're gorgeous. And the other question, what's my next move? Refocus on your goals. How many of these symptoms are currently manifesting in your life? Let me ask you, are these happening in your life? Your lack of assertiveness when it comes to your social interaction. Your lack of courage to speak up and raise different point of views. Your lack of sense of personal identity. You are dissatisfied with life, but instead of vocalizing openly, you tend to internalize it with sadness and anger within yourself. You're constantly wearing different masks to please other people, and that's never going to work. You feel as though other people have some kind of superiority over you. You're obsessed with acting and looking like other people. You want to mimic other people. You're extremely conscious of what other people think of you. Who cares? Right now, maybe some of you don't, Maria, I don't want to hear you. That's okay. This is not for you. I still love you. That's okay. And your point is, literally, this is the way I talk. And honestly, maybe some of you that don't like, that's okay. Because this is who I am. I don't mean to be ugly, but I have to, because that gives me strength. You're afraid to say no and express your opinion. How many of these symptoms are right now in your life right now? What is it that you want? What is it that you want? In order to overcome the fear of rejection, you must first identify what is it that you want, and why you want it. You must have reasons for wanting to overcome the fear of rejection. Ask yourself, what do I want? Ask yourself, what do you want? What do I want? Is this important to me? How will this benefit me? Is it doing anything for you, this person that's rejecting you? I mean, come on, is this benefiting you? Keep on walking and keep on, focus on yourself. What will you miss out if you don't act right now to overcome the fear of rejection? See, these are questions you need to ask yourself. Step 2, gain power, proper perspective, and you need to be clear. To overcome any fear, you must first gain proper perspective and clarity about the fear. To do this, begin by identifying what is exactly that you fear. Ask yourself, what type of rejection do I fear? Whose rejection do I fear, and why? How will I overcome these obstacles? This is for you. You are unstoppable. There's nobody like you. You're strong. You're unique. You're beautiful. You're handsome. While we live in this earth, we will always, at one point or another, be rejected by others. That will never stop. But the one that has to stop is you. Do you believe this? Do you? And you know what? We need to stop being a victim. Yeshua said in John chapter 12, verse 42. Verse 48. He that rejected me and received not my words, the one that judges him, the word that I have spoken, the same shall judge him in the last days. In order to be irreplaceable, you must always be different. Understand this, that someone will always be prettier or more handsome. Someone will always be smarter. Someone will always be younger. But understand this, but they will never be you. If you are lucky to be different from everyone else, don't change. What makes you different is what makes you beautiful or handsome. You are different from others. And that is your uniqueness. And don't allow anyone else to make you feel inferior, Because the only time when you believe this, is because you have allowed it and you believe what they're saying. Begin speaking positive things to yourself. Begin and be confident. Walk in your house with confidence. Look at what do you call the one that has different colors? The bird, the peacock. Be a peacock. Be an eagle. Be a lion. Walk in your house. See yourself. Throw kisses at yourself. Why shouldn't you love yourself? If that person that has rejected you takes the time to do it, it's because you're doing something right and he or she is not. Thank you. From First Yahudin Messianic Temple. Until next time, Shalom Aleichem. Peace to you.